Hello everybody, welcome to Area 51 Raceway. Today I'm going to talk about doing some interior stuff. The 3A3D section on Soccer Corner has a lot of interiors that you could purchase. I'm pretty sure there should be some in stock right now. If not, they will be soon. Dave produces those so he could send them off to him. We do have tray interiors for 132nd. We have them with a roll bar, with a driver, or without a driver. And then there's two different drivers, I believe. There's the Trans Am classic driver and then the modern one with a mic. But check the website to be sure because I haven't looked there yet lately. What I want to do is talk about installing the interior onto the 3D car and also just doing a little detail. And I'll show you some detail things that you could do also that are available. Some you use actually paint pens and stuff. So there's a lot of things you could do besides brush painting. It's totally up to you how you want to approach it. But we're going to go over the bench. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for my Camaro build, which I've decided to hold off till the summer to send that car. And we'll go over the interior, what I'm going to do with this one in particular, and kind of like get an idea where we're going at to put it together and just kind of briefly show you. It's not very hard. So let's go right over to the bench. All right, here we are at the workbench here, and we have a couple interior trays here. And what I'm going to go over is that this is what you generally get if you don't have one with a driver, and when you get, if you do have one with a driver. So here's an example. This is the modern one with the mic, and then you have the old school one that has, which I don't have, which has the goggles like the classic TA driver. Uh, Depending, it all depends what's printed. I don't know for sure. It may come with this or it may come with the modern one. So, but either way, they both work, and nobody's going to be looking inside your interior and saying, "Hey, you know, you got a TA driver, man." I mean, come on. The car goes around the track. You know, it's just a little detail, uh, and again, it's just all about having fun. This is all videos that I'm doing to gear toward having people to get into scratch building. Scratch building is real gratifying. It's a lot of fun to see your creation go down the track. And the example of these wheels are really cool. These were wheels that I had designed specifically for this type of cars because this is the Bassett 80s style wheel that was used in NASCAR that were chrome in the early 80s. And then what they were happening is that the wheels were fracturing, and because of the chrome process they used, so they had to ban the wheels. So, but it adds a nice little classic look to the dirt track racers because they did use these wheels also. And this is what I have here, and it enhances the car a lot. And here's some that I've extra for that I have painted, and I use this with Quicksilver paint and gloss black from SMS. And I could have made these shinier, but instead I clear coated them with super clear and then dulled them out. But if you just use a jet black and then you use that chrome on it and do it lightly, they'll look like chrome. But I wanted to kind of dull them out because I didn't want them too chromy. But these are really nice insert wheels too, which are really, really cool. So going back to the interiors. So you generally do is you get an interior, and it'll basically look like this. I'm doing one without a driver because I want to detail my own driver. You have that choice. And as you can see, I fit it in here, how nice and easy it fits in. One thing you want to remember is that you'll have to cut a little if this is too tight, or it, seems like it needs to, too tight to go in here. And what I've done is I've trimmed this off and kind of made it a little bit smaller. And it's just my preference for getting this to fit in there a little bit tighter instead of, a little bit looser instead of tighter. And that's where I position it. And this is the lovely part about this, is that this is this is going to make things easier. I've always hated doing interiors. We used to have to do interiors with deck of cards and plastistrut and then bending the bar. This eliminates all that to make it easier. All you have to worry about is trimming it and mounting it to the car and detailing it. Now the ones that you'll probably see on Soccer Corner on these ones, because this one in particular is more of a lower profile one because I printed this lower, and this is what you get from SCC. And generally it's the same thing. One thing you got to remember is that you'll have this part that may protrude, that may interfere with the tire. That's an easy fix. You can either trim it down to where it doesn't show it over here, so you could trim a section off, or you could grind it down right here in this particular section here where the wheel would possibly rub, and you could get rid of that piece that sticks out, because if it sticks out too much, the tire is going to contact there if you have this body low, unless you have it high, and I would call it a rubbing point, and then the car will slow, it'll slow the car down. You'll see it when you run your car around. You'll see it's kind of like a mark from the interior, but it's nothing that's not fixable. So this one fits pretty good, and you could just paint this up. Okay, what I've done is put a hole right here. See right there, I was off, so no big deal. The driver's going to cover it anyway. It's not going to, be a big deal. Even if it does, nobody's going to see that. So it's just part of just scratch building. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut part of this wheel off because I don't need all this. I'm going to cut this piece right here, like that, and just that section. I'll leave the shaft there. Cut down the shaft because there is a little dashboard. And I'll give the steering wheel illusion there, which is perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a small pin vise and a small screw, drill bit, excuse me. And what I'm going to do is drill mainly toward the back here, so it goes toward right here toward the neck area. So it's just need to just do that, and this is really easy to accomplish and get in there. And we're just gonna deep enough to where the little slotting plus screw, which is what I use, or you could use any type of small screw, whatever size you use. You want to secure the driver to the tray that way. You don't want to glue it because I've glued them before and they pop out. So here we go. We're gonna put that in there, and see that's nice and tight, good and tight. That's enough there because you have the thickness of the tray to consider as well. So we're right there where we need to be. So I'll remove the screw. Already kind of positioned the hole where I need to go, and I'm going to look to the back here and see if I can locate it. Now it looks like that shaft is in the way, so if that's in the way, again, you can position it the way you want it, but I'm going to take that off because that is in the way. So you only need the top part of it. I don't think anybody's going to be looking in your interior looking for your steering shaft. And we're going to take a look at this, and there's our hole right there. That is where I'm thinking it is. I'm going to get the screw, and I get the darn screw. It could be a little tedious, but you know what? This is way better than building a whole interior. This is just only one thing. And again, you can get the driver with the interior if you don't want to do this. But I want to detail this driver a little bit more, which is just my preference. It doesn't mean you have to. Just a preference. And then we're going to secure the driver there nice and tight. Move around. And there he is. He's in there. See? Your driver's in there. It's secured with this little slotting plus screw. And we're going to put him in here. Just fit him in. Size him up. And there's your driver. Right in there. See? Easy peasy. Looks pretty cool. Now what you could do is primer this and get it ready to paint. Now as far as painting concern is, you could do it either way. It's up to you how you want to paint. You want to use enamel, you want to use water base, you want to, how'd you say, airbrush it. It's totally up to you. But these interiors are easy to deal with. They're easy to paint and primer. You can use water base, you can use whatever you want to do. You could also use these. So I'm going to show you these. These are Big Thumb's long nib markers, and they have a 1.0 millimeter tip. They're odor free, xylene free, permanent, and waterproof. They're really good, and I'll show you why. I'm going to get an unpainted interior. Obviously, this is just unprimered, and what you could do is this. You're going to do a first coat. If you want to do this all the way through, it's up to you. These are really great markers to do little things, like say if you just want to do the nozzle here on the fire extinguisher. I'm trying not to be in the way of the camera, but just to show you, it's little details like that. These are really great for that. Really handy. Harry sent me these as a Christmas gift. You see, there you go. There's the nozzle of it. And it's pretty cool. And they come in red, blue, white, and black. So if I want to do the fire extinguisher, I can kind of do the base right here, right? Again, it's not a Picasso. You're just trying to make it some little detail. So you can see it. There's the red. If you want to do the black strapping on it, you go across here. There's the black strapping. These really work pretty well. You know what these are also great for? This is also great for what Harry showed me, which is called the toothpick trick. So the toothpick trick is to give you the illusion that you have white lettered tires. We would use a toothpick, and you still can, with water-based white paint, and you put little dots. Well, with this little booger here, it actually works pretty good. So you could get this and just mark it like that, like that. I'll put 4 on there, and there you go. And again, when this is going down the track, this is going to be spinning, and it's going to give you the illusion of white letters are on there. So that's what that is. Now, if you actually want to put an actual decal, you could do that as well. But this is a little small trick. And then again, when it dries, you can go over it again and dab it again, make it more white, more paint on there, and there you go. See, this is small little things that you do in scratch building. And then you could, on the front tires and on the rears, you could put like some floor shine just on the outside of it, and to protect it a little from rubbing, from coming off. But these really work really well. So just a little tip on those. So back to the interior. Now we got our driver, and then you have one with the driver, and you can detail it with those pens, paint whatever you want to do. These are easy to cut. As I've cut this side, they're also easy to sand. So I'll show you. I sanded this one already. Good file. And it really sands very easily. You can see I'm already sanding material off. And it's just, it's not very hard to do. Very easy to sand these interiors. Now we're going to talk about like driver mesh. So the mesh, you can get this from Amazon. This is a metal mesh. You could place it over here and then glue it if you want. Put it on the back and glue it. And then put it in the car. And you'll have the netting on there instead of trying to put the net here. Unless you want to mold it, you can mold it around here, which is possible. I've done it. And then glue it to the body first and then put your interior in. But there's an easier way to do it too. If you did this, you'd make your net, and you have net already. And if you have it on the driver already, or on the roll cage, now you can just place it in there, and then you could color these, with the marker like I showed you right here. These will color easily. Look at that. These little tricks of scratch building here that you figure out on yourself. Other people really are unique when they do stuff like this, because then they have better ideas than I do. And this is why this is what's great about scratch building. People share their ideas, because you'll ask them, hey, how'd you do that? And there you go. You got yourself a black mesh with these pens. Or you could use a paintbrush, whatever you want to do, but that looks pretty good. And again, UV glue works extremely well on these interiors, because this is obviously, it's resin, and then when you use resin glue, they're super hard to come off. So this will secure this very easily on there. If you wanted to do it that way, make a net, that's not very hard to do. You could also, there's stuff like from the hardware stores that they have little netting stuff that they come in bricks and stuff, or gutter guard stuff will work. Sandpaper, drywall sandpaper. There's different things. Now this stuff right here, this is net that I 3D printed, and I've been using this, and I basically just glue it on there and put it on there like that, and it looks like a driver's net. And I mean, it's not very hard to do. These you can get through 3D Colts. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to print these out. They're very easy to print. Right now, they're not currently available through Slot Car Corner, because this is too small a part to be dealing with this. But we are working on trying to make an interior with a net. But right now, we just, It's still in development by Dave, and we're test printing. So you could do this. You could color this in with this pen. This is kind of cool about this pen, is you could just go ahead and just mark it and then do another coat if you need to do another coat on it to cover, the gray areas, or you could paint it. That's what's nice about this resin. You can do pretty much anything with it. So I'm going to paint this like that. And there's my netting. Again, you could go over it again if you missed spots. But it works really well, these little pens. And just do your detailing. There you go. See, that's simple. Very, very easy to do. Like that. See? There you go. Right here, you just glue it on there. You could even cut this part or flip it the other way. Not that there's nets on the passenger side. They're only really on the driver's side. But you get the idea. And then you could cut it down if you want, and you have yourself a net, a driver's net right there, which is pretty cool. This little pens work really good. So, but there you have it. That's pretty much kind of like some interior tips. So you have a lot of options and a lot of ways of doing things. As you see, this is interior for this car, and I'm pretty much on my way. I just need to get my prime it, and then I can detail the driver, and I'll probably put my net, attach it to the roll bar itself instead of having the net put, it here. I think I'm going to go that way. It depends. I have till the summer to deal with this car. That's why I wanted to hold off, because I wanted to try different things, because maybe I'll put some plastic blister pack stuff on here, or a bottle, that plastic, and you could use that. But either way, I mean, this is what, I'm not in front of the camera. This is what makes it easier to put interiors on from the 3A3D website at SEC, from the 3A3D section. These are available, and you could just, mount your interior. You could use strapping tape, glue it on. Strapping tape I put strapping tape on there. Nice big piece on here across, and it's not going to interfere with anything. And that's, that looks pretty sharp. Once you get it all painted, it looks real good. So there you have it. It's just little things that we're making it easier to do scratch build cars, and we're trying to develop all this stuff and stuff that's already been developed. So this way you have, different options and different ways of doing things, and just making it fun and user friendly. All right, there you go. That's how you put one of those 3A3D interiors. We really are gearing to making things a lot easier for people to get into scratch building. My main objective for this year is to really get more people into scratch building, and I just want everybody to join in on the fun. That's why we make a lot of these things now. The bodies that are coming out in mid-January, which are the showdown bodies, and what's available right now, interiors, drivers. We're making it more user-friendly, so the first-time builder could get in and not have to worry about having to build, an interior with a playing card and using Plastistrut. Spending more money on materials, because you'll need to get a couple of pieces of Plastistrut rod, which cost like $10, compared to just buying an interior that has a roll cage already for you and ready to go. And then all you have to do is add the netting and the painting, mount it up to the body, and hey, you're all set. But again, I really appreciate you watching my videos. We'll be doing more. I look forward to seeing you scratch building with us. And no political pun intended. Let's make America scratch build again. How's that? As always, you take care and have fun racing.